Recently, I was reading a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. I'm sure most of you must have heard about it. This book really got me thinking how small habits can create a big impact in your life. And that got me wondering, what if there was a similar guide for UX designers? So here is my own. Let's check it out. First, never assume, always ask. We as people have a tendency of just assuming things outright. Sometimes we just go ahead and make tons and tons of assumptions in our case studies, in our portfolios, in our design projects altogether. You really need to take a step back, understand, listen and observe, and really start asking the right questions. So please do an exercise today where you write down all the assumptions you think you're making in a certain day. Try replacing them with questions instead. So, in a nutshell, asking the right question is the biggest key to success for any UX designer and any design process. Second, document because your memory sucks. If I ask you to recall an idea that you did a month back, would you be able to recall it in the first instance? Most of us can't. The reason is because our memory is so occupied with what is going on in the current day-to-day situation that we don't necessarily remember everything we have done. And that is where documentation is the best process one can follow. It can be messy, it can be organized, it can be super logical, or it can just be some simple scribbles. Anything that makes you recall what you wrote down. That is the goal of documentation. Of course, there are places where you need to do good kind of documentation, like your case studies, like your portfolios, like your design reviews in your companies, like presenting a presentation to your client if you're a freelancer. Because you need to show the process to someone out there who's paying you. In that process, a good documentation is really your best friend to go to. Third, think out loud in visual. By visually representing what is the picture in our head, we help others understand and communicate more faster, more effectively, and with more clarity. If you just go out and speak in different kinds of words, talk from your own head, people might not relate to what you're saying. They might not understand your idea and reject it. But when they actually see the idea in action, they see things like a prototype, a basic sketch, a paper prototype, a wireframe, anything, probably even a doodle for that matter, they can give you a feedback better. Because then a person has something to see. They can give you a feedback on something visual. Trust me when I say it, visuals are extremely important in a designer's life. Nobody can read your mind. As designers, it should become as effortless as breathing for you. Fourth, feedback is not your enemy. Rather, it is your friend. When someone gives you a feedback, they are not coming from an intention to hurt you or to comment on your personality. The feedback is simply on your designs, on your work. The faster you understand, the more successful you will be in life. Feedback is something that will come in your life all along the way. Taking feedback is an art that designers really need to work on. Fifth, and the last one is speak the language of masses. Stop using fancy words, fancy UX terminologies like persona, UX mapping, empathy mapping, user journey, CTA, breadcrumbs. Stop it. See, when you are sitting on a table with your stakeholders, with your seniors, with your teammates, developers, and your users, they don't understand these terms. If you talk in a layman language, they can understand you better. When you use terminologies and jargons like these, people tend to feel stupid. Nobody likes feeling stupid. See, if you want to come across as an effective designer, stop using such things. You're smart enough as a designer. Your work will represent your smartness. You don't need to use these fancy jargons. Of course, you can use them while you're learning, but when you're talking to a layman, please talk to them in a layman language. This is going to go a long way with you and people are going to respect you for this. So these are the 5 skills you need to start building now. Do let me know in the comments which habit you're going to start working on starting today. That's it for now. See you in the next video.